With set 13 rolling in soon for English comes the arrival of new, meta-defining support that will change the state of the format for the next few months. Leonor and Vivace, Jejuled Ignis, and Youthbreak Full Blast are anticipated to be the main faces of the new English meta. However, one deck has been forgotten, despite being the protagonist deck and the face of the product: Nirvana Jheva and Stravairina. Jheva quite had its time being the punching bag of the community, taking 7 whole main sets to accumulate support, some being a step forward while others being 2 steps back. The main reason for this treatment was how problematic Cross overdress was as a main mechanic, having to commit more from hand and minus in card advantage to get a functioning Verena unit on board. Despite being able to plus, Jheva's X skill isn't enough to counteract this minus. Of course, notable cards came in with each new set: Stragalia from set 9, Mirror's Verena and Grelamir from set 10, the promo card Chakrabarti Dance Cyan, oh my god that was a handful. But the deck was actually unsure of what it wanted, whether it wanted to be a hybrid of overdress and cross overdress, or pure build. Regardless, the deck suffered the problems of, but not limited to, low hand count, piece reliance, and almost close to non-existent pressure. Likewise, the deck was a nightmare to build. Finding any consistent and possibly sold list was nearly impossible. However, with the release of the new support from set 13 in Japan, the deck has undergone a massive revamp in both the deck composition and arguably its own playstyle. Whereas a majority of the cards that previously defined Jheva were thrown out the window. Quite a similar case of Urger during Mahar days. Stravairina, the new MVP of the deck, and ideally what you'd want to get running by turn 3. Stra isn't your typical cross overdress unit, needing at least 2 Prayer Dragons and a Trickstar to come online, contrary to the 1 Prayer Dragon and a Trickstar. The cost of making Stra is not only finally worth the hand commitment, but Stra acting as a cross overdress unit that breathes new life into the deck. Stra grants a 5th attack and gives Jheva triple drive, allowing the deck to finally have more than one option to close out the games. Additionally, if the player wishes to do so, they can make a cross overdress stack of 5, unlocking Stra's ability to wipe both markers and units off your opponent's entire board. Set 13 has also introduced many new Prayer Dragons as support, which in turn makes Jheva turn from a barbecue chicken into a phoenix worthy of a protagonist deck. Aparagia is a grade 2 Prayer Dragon of 2 main skills. A non-place that other than from deck uses a soul and a discard to search any Prayer Dragon from the deck, allowing you to toolbox your deck to fit almost any given game state. More importantly however is its second skill, for when it turns into an out-of-dress, Aparagia draws a card and gives the cross-overdress unit quote-unquote resist, finally giving the deck an avenue of counterplay against direct removal, and even protection against future mechanics such as Dominate. Drahas, Nandika, and Kalmadoc being the rest of the Blazing Heavenly support, also quite decent options, but not as powerful as Aparagia. Likewise, they can come in and fill the slots for Stra's 5 or more original dress conditioned skill. While both Stra and Aparagia are new cards that will take the majority of deck space, it doesn't really stop you from playing older cards. Such notable cards include Arcs for draw power, Mirror's Verena as a beat stick / countercharge / drawing, Grelamir digging out for Verena copies and filtering, and Vils for Verena recursion. Moreover, with the addition of Aparagia, Jheva can toolbox in running with the Prayer Dragons, meaning that Jheva out of the new main decks of set 13 is the most flexible in deck building. To touch back, the game plan of this deck has significantly changed, still maintaining the main beatdown flair, but also refunding and plussing from the new support. Funnily enough, the deck will actually aggressively filter, so you do actually have a time limit before you deck out. As you read up into Jheva, ideally you want to start building into Stravairina as soon as possible, using Aparagia to search for Grelamir, which then snowballs into filtering and refunding part of the crossover just cost. Getting both the 10k power to both Stra and Jheva, alongside enabling triple drive, makes the deck relatively explosive, especially when going first. As a side note, Stravairina's follow-up skill to the restand is a bit new bait. Usually, you'd never want to go into the 5 original dress condition unless if the matchup actually does require it. Otherwise, it is a valuable tool for matchups that do require board clear or rearguard to function. On the other hand, your second column is built into mirrors, or otherwise Vils, or any beatstick that you can use to restand of Stra. Even overdress units, or even Trickstar is also a target, since Stra restands talismans. Pro tip, you don't always have to use Aparagia's on-play skill every time you call it. It being a refundable original dress unit that gives resist is already good enough. Now, how would Jheva perform in the set 13 English meta? Well, we can only give it a relative guess, since other contenders in Japan such as Maigo, Morphonica, Training Tools are unreleased in English set 13. Oh, but we do have Mushiki. Into the turn 4 decks like Vivace and Ignis depend on how much guard power Jheva can generate for drawing cards. However, generally, Jheva will be overrun by how explosive the turns are. Full Blast, if it does not brick, will most likely turn Jheva into fried chicken if it goes first. It, however, can work both ways to if whoever goes first, with Jheva able to stabilize more easily if it survives a Full Blast turn. Jheva also has wider leeway in facing board-controlled decks, notably Prison and Gendeva, with Aparagia giving resist to Verena for a turn. No, not you. Bad Nordlinger, go back to your corner. Anyways, of course, make use of that time before it gets to death sentence. Decks that focus on the heavy early aggro could pose a problem for Jheva, pushing him to early guard and dropping 2 pieces. But thank God my KFC can revive dragons and a goofy mascot from the dead. Oh, even with that Jheva, or I guess overdress slash cross overdress as a whole, still has the glaring weakness of swing into rear. Into another mid-range sort of decks, it arguably has a decent time with decks such as Bastion Accord and Orphis Mascus, leaning more toward who can flip more yellows than the other person. And finally, scaling decks, like in most matchups, is a matter of beating your opponent before the timer runs out. Jheva having sack potential, 5 attacks, strong columns, and accessible guard restrict means it has more tools to work with in getting stride decks to 6. However, don't expect it to outlast the endgame. Anyways, hoping that you're ranked to go with trying out set 13 Jheva, we have a few decklist examples here open for adjustments. First things first is the very basic build. Nothing too spicy being cooked here, but it maximizes on the draw power in both arcs and mirrors. What triggers you'd like to run is very dependent towards your taste. Either you opt towards maximizing crits to kill your opponent as soon as possible, or running on Rainbow to maximize an overall shield value and further draw power. Here we have a more spicy build, made by this guy who hoped to co-write the script, ignoring that he's been insane. This build uses more 1-ofs, unlocking Drawhouse's potential in making a 5-stack straw with more effects, such as the guard restrict, power gain, etc, etc. Next is a list similar to the generic build, but it replaces arcs with fills, making this deck pure cross overdress. It's more forgiving to ditching Farinas as fills can grab him back. And that should be it. Wait, huh? Wait, who put... What is this? Highlander Jheva. I don't know why this is in the script, but I guess I'll showcase it. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, and that's all we have for Jheva today. If there's anything special or some personal tech options we didn't cover, please do leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like, and if you haven't already, please do leave a sub. Oh, and on another note, as to writing for the 1st of December, we actually hit 250 subs and over 2.5 thousand views on the Ground Grace video. Like, I actually can't stress how much, like, I'm honored to see so much support from everyone. Like, thank you guys so much for your support, and here's to hoping we hit 300 soon. Anyways, that's all from me today. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh, by the way, fun fact, did you know Trickstar has a nose but Trickmoon doesn't?